नमस्कार. आज सडेतोड नायक कार्यावळींत आमी एक अत्यंत संवेदनशील आनी तितलोच म्हत्वाचो विशय घेतला. गोंयच्यो दर्यावेळो अत्यंत घातक अशा पांवड्यार उब्यो आसात आनी सरकार हे जे पळय नियम आसा CRZ नियम ते सतत बदलत आसा. आनी आतां तर आज एक बातमी आयली ती अशी की ह्या CRZ लायनीक हुपून ह्या सबंद टक्क्यार ह्या सगळ्यांत भागार जे लोक रावपी आहेत, विशेषतः जे नुस्तेकार आसात, तांकां आतां घरां बांदपाक मेळटलीं. इतलेंच न्हय तर बिझनेस करूंक थंय वेगवेगळे हॉटेलां, थंय वेगवेगळे रेस्टॉरंट्स आनी अशे तरेचे उपक्रम थंय करूंक मेळटले. ताका लागून ही दर्यावेळ जी आमी सतत संवेदनशील म्हणटात ती धोक्यान येता. अशे तरेचो नियम जर फाल्यां जर तयार जाले की थंय कितेंय बांदपाक मेळटलें, थंय कितलेय अशे तरेचे जे कायदे आसात ते हुप्पाक मेळटले, थंय आनीक बांदकामां उबी जावंक मेळटलीं. जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता गोंयची संवेदनशील दर्यावेळ जी क्लायमेट चेंजाक लागून पयलींच वायट अवस्थेन आयिल्ली आसा, भिरांकूळ अवस्थेक पाविल्ल्या, ती आनीक धोक्यान येतली. आनी ह्याच विशयाचेर चर्चा करूंक आज आमचे कडेन एक म्हत्वाचो तज्ञ आयिल्लो आसा. हांव तुमची वळख करून दितां. ते आसात आंतोनियो मास्कारेंजीस. आंतोनियो बाब हे NIOंतल्यान नॅशनल इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ ओशनोग्राफींतल्यान निवृत्त जाल्ले आसात. ते एक जिओलॉजिस्ट आनी म्हत्वाचें म्हळ्यार कितें की दर्याचो सांबाळ जावपाक जाय. गोंयची दर्यावेळ सामकी संवेदनशील, तिजो सांबाळ जावपाक जाय, तिजें संवर्धन जावपाक जाय. थंय मॅनग्रोव्स काबार केल्यात त्यो वाचोवपाक जाय. सँड ड्यून्स ताजे वयलें वेजिटेशन सांबाळपाक जाय. हाजे खातीर ते स्वता सायंटिस्ट फक्त ऑफिसान बसून काम करनात, ते भायर वचून ही झाडां तयार करचे नजरेन, ती झाडां रोवपाचे नजरेन, तांचो सांबाळ करपाचे नजरेन तांणी कितलींशीं वर्सां काम केलां. आंतोनियो बाब आमच्या स्टुडियोंत तुमकां हांव येवकार दितां. ही बातमी तुमी वाचली आसतली न्ही की CRZ नेम आनीक पातळ करप, आनीक सौम्य करप. आनी थंय आतां फिशरमॅन आनी पयलींच येदी व्हडलीं घरां बांदल्यात. फिशरमॅनांनी 3 मजली व्हडले व्हडले बंगले बांदिल्ले आमी केन्ना आयकूंक नाशिल्ले. ते आतां फाटल्या आतां आमी कितलेशे सांजांद्री कॉन्स्टिट्युन्सीन पळयलां हांवें दर्यावेळेर कितलींशीं व्हडलीं व्हडलीं घरां. आनी सबंद आतां हो जो पळय नॉर्थ गोवा कोस्टल बेल्ट आहा थंय तर व्हडले व्हडले 5 स्टार येवन बसल्यात. तो आतां तातूंत आनीक जर ते नेम जर सदळ जाले जाल्यार कितें जातलें दोतोर?
At the outset, I must thank Gomantak TV for inviting me here, and Raju, you especially. When you called me this morning to come inviting me here, I said, sitting with Raju. Anyway, it's a great experience because I've done that in the past.
I quote you for every article of mine.
Yes.
In fact, last week I talked to you on the same issues of the coastline.
Yes, right. And please continue doing this good work. Yeah. So, you spoke about these structures of the fishermen, and now this is a big issue actually. In fact, as a member of the Coastal Authority myself, we have faced these issues about in the years 2013, 2016 when I was myself a member, when a lot of cases used to come for us for approvals. Now there is one very clear guideline right from the notification of 1991, where fishermen can rebuild their houses, but there are guidelines for that. You have to build it on the same plinth, you cannot have another first floor, there are guidelines. But what is happening on the coast is not what the way it should be. Now here I have one more pertinent question. The law clearly says that only authorized structures can be rebuilt. Now I ask everybody, how do you define the term authorized? Now in my opinion, the government of Goa has not yet defined the term authorized.
Oh,
yes.
They don't have
Yes. And I can tell you, see, the houses may be valid, may be genuine because the families have expanded. So, earlier I was young, now I'm married, I've got 2-3 sons. Okay, I have to expand my house. All that is valid. But this does not mean that that house is authorized. Because authorized has a definition for that. Now, if you want me to elaborate on that, we will take another 5 minutes. But all the houses along the coast of Goa are not authorized.
They are illegal.
Well, I will not use the word illegal. I'll be a bit kind to them, but not saying illegal. But they are, you call it inappropriate or something of that sort. But they are not authorized. And I can confirm that to you.
Oh.
Yes.
So what is this rule, CRZ?
See,
if CRZ rules, we always used to think CRZ म्हणजे सारखे कडक ते काय बांदपी करपाक दिवपा ना, ते मोडू शकतात. CRZ येदो व्हडलो तयार केला आनी जर इलिगल बांदीत सुटल्यात कितें?
See, CRZ right from 1991, there is lot of study gone into it. It has got lot of scientific validity. And we have studied all that. We have published papers on that to validate. But then if somebody tries to find loopholes and try to bypass Then this is what we have. Just yesterday you must have read in the newspapers that Goa is the littoral state with the highest number of violations in India. So is this an honor for us? That means, things are not going very well. Either we don't follow the law or the law is not being implemented.
Exactly.
It's one of these things.
Sir. So आता अंतन बाब आम्ही आता पळयतात ऑलरेडी 50 लाख लोक गोंयांत येतात 50 lakhs टुरिस्ट आर कमिंग टू गोवा आणि आता आनी एक मोपा एअरपोर्ट जाला ते आनीक 50 लाख गोंयांत येतले तांकां सगळ्यांक बिचार वचपाक जाय बिचार वचपाक तांकां आनीक हॉटेलां आनीक शॅक्स आनीक आतां आनी स्ट्रक्चर्स मागीर गोंयांत आनी दर्यावेळ उरपाची ना.
This issue of footfall, is something that's very important. Yeah. For example, you take our famous Miramar beach. People park at the circle and they, spread all over the beach. That's not correct.
Sarke.
Yeah.
Sarke.
Okay. Yeah. By doing that, you trample on the beach, on large space of the beach. You trample on the vegetation. You trample on the dunes. You flatten them.
Sarke.
Yeah.
Sarke.
Now, unfortunately, if you permit me, can we come to that issue of sand dunes here?
Of course. This is one of my very favorite topics.
Now, from what you that newspaper item that you mailed to me this morning in one of the local newspapers, it says that only sand dunes which are taller or higher than 2 meters will be considered as sand dunes.
Correct.
Now, this is the most ridiculous, statement or decision that I find during my 35 years of career and the last 25 years as a coastal, when I've been tackling the coastal issues. Now, how do you justify 2 meters and below that is not a sand dune? What is it? See, please note that we need to note that a sand dune can be as tall as 10 centimeters and they are known as embryonic dunes. That is how they form. After all, what is a sand dune? It's an accumulation of unconsolidated accumulation of loose sand, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. It's something that's not hard, so it's very easy to smash it, and it is formed by the action of wind. So it is an aeolian feature. Okay. So it can be 10 centimeters, and it grows as the sand gets deposited. It grows.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we should allow it to grow. Yeah. Now they come with this sort of a definition, and if you go by that, half of the Goa sand dunes don't qualify as sand dunes, which is not proper. There is no justification for this. This is absurd.
Okay, and it has to be stopped.
Well, it has to stop.
आणि म्हाका एक सांगात तुम्ही आता पणजी मिरामार करंजळे काबो दोनापावल ते वेळसाव मेरेन CRZ2 येता सो हाजो अर्थ ती थंयचे पळय सँड ड्यून्स किंवा सँड ड्यून वेजिटेशन जे जातलें तें ऑलरेडी काबार जालां.
I think I'm happy you raised this issue. See, the coastal zone management plans for Goa, to my knowledge, were approved in September 2022. Now the CZMP that's approved is based on the 2011 CRZ notification. Now, based on that, one good thing that is that from Keri down to Baga, they have identified a NDZ of 200 meters. 0 to 200 is a no development zone. It is marked there. It is approved, so that is the law. But unfortunately, very, very vague I find that, if you go inside the river, if you go from Ribandar to Penjim, Miramar, Karanzale, Cabo, and round to Donapaula up to almost Siridao is defined as CRZ2. Now CRZ2 means virtually there is no development zone doesn't apply. Virtually you can do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is the reason probably if you come to Donapaula where I stay, what is it today and what it was earlier. Today the whole, the hill slopes are urbanized.
Yes.
And that's going to get packed even more. And the same thing is done to the other side of Zuari, right from Shikali, round the port up to Velsaung is CRZ2. Bainam beach is CRZ2, so you can forget about that beach. Similarly here, Miramar beach comes under CRZ2, so you forget about talking about sand dunes. I become a joker here.
You were the one some years back.
Yes.
तू मिरामार कितलेशे अशे एक्सपेरिमेंट केले ती सँड ड्यून्स ताजे ते वेजिटेबल जातले म्हणून तुम्ही कल्टिवेट केले. ताजे आता किती जाला?
That was a simple eco-friendly experiment that we did. To show, because the municipality wanted it. That was during the time of, I think, Elvis. He was quite interested in that. So we followed a simple, method known as sand fences, where you put those, wooden slats, okay, and that traps the sand that comes in. So instead of going onto the road, it stops at the beach itself. And with time, it stabilizes, vegetation grows, and it forms a dune. And you can see it even today, that there is a dune there. If you go to Miramar today, those who have not gone, go to Miramar and see. I call it my dune.
Oh, very nice. म्हाका एक सांगा, तुम्ही आता सांगला की बागा ती एरिया नो डेव्हलपमेंट झोन. आता बागा जर नो डेव्हलपमेंट झोन, थंय सगळे पळय स्ट्रक्चर्स आयल्या, शेक्स आयल्यात, आनी हायकोर्ट हॅज लास्ट वीक हेज ए रुलींग सेईंग दॅट ह्या सगळ्या शेकांनी बांयो मारल्यात, सोकपीट तयार केल्यात आनी सिमेंट कॉन्क्रीट घाला. कितें फकाणां?
Yeah, Raju, see, I think, in Baga up to Sinkeri, the NDZ of 200 meters is marked in the CZMP.
Yes.
Yeah, it is marked.
Yes.
That means you cannot have any developmental activity, in particular the commercial activity.
Correct.
Yeah, although it is happening, it's marked there. So that means, this thing has no meaning.
So shacks are also commercial activity?
No. Shacks is a different issue altogether. Shacks are, purely temporary
structures.
Yeah, structures.
But then High Court has pointed out.
Yes.
थंय सिमेंट कॉन्क्रीट घाला, हांवें वचून पळयलां बागा एरियान. सिमेंट कॉन्क्रीट घाला, थंय बांयो मारल्यात, थंय कोयर उडोवपाक आनी कितें कितें वेगळें वेगळें केलां, आनी थंय इतलेंच न्हय, थंय सोकपीट बांदल्यात.
Yes. These are blatant violation of the prevailing laws. That in one line I can say.
And I can tell you, Antonio Bab, 90% of the shacks, they have done this.
Can be?
90% of the shacks, they have this illegality.
Yes. Because, there are strict guidelines for the shacks.
Yes.
A shack should be on the dry beach. Okay. I remember, we have gone and given them. But what they do, after permissions are granted, they go behind and extend into the dune. And they cut the dunes and put kitchens there.
Correct.
Now, to my knowledge, in the shacks, cooking cannot be done. You have to cook outside and bring it and sell it.
Oh, this is the rule, no?
I think so. Yeah, it was at least.
Okay.
But now there is a new. I'm not quite sure about that. Okay. But you cannot have your guests and
everybody is having
exactly. I don't think that's allowed.
Yes.
And as you say, there's bore wells and all that. We have caught them in Galjibag even. Years ago when we used to go for inspection.
Okay.
They used to put bore wells. That is a violation. That's a violation. Because all that we are going to do, if you suck fresh water, we are going to pull in the saline water.
Exactly.
And once the saline water invades the water table along the coast, you cannot drive it back. So our wells will turn brackish. And that is the state of affairs in Kandoli. All the wells of the village in Kandoli are brackish. So this is a shame for us.
Antonio Babu, एक म्हाका सदां डेंजर दिसता अशें. तुवें म्हणलें फ्रॉम बागा that area no development zone आहा.
Yes.
ताजे नंतर पातळ जायत CRZ गेला पणजेन भितर सामकें CRZ2 तूं जाय तें कर.
Yes.
अशी जर परिस्थिती आहा
जाल्यार
आमची क्लायमेट चेंज पळय कितें आतां जाता. Sea level rise and extreme weather events.
Yes.
This is not going to, harm Goa or our coastline.
See, we have already seen during the last few years, when the winds start churning the sea.
Yes.
See, along the coast of Goa, the winds, mostly are bi-directional, the prevailing winds. Yes. Now, by the month of April or May, we get a direct hit from the sea on the coast.
Correct.
And the waves are wind driven.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is the surface winds that create waves. Stronger the wind, higher will be the wave, and they come and hit you directly. And the winds increase now by April, May. So we are going to get very high waves which overshoot the beach. Yeah, and if there are no dunes, and by the way, what I forgot to mention 5 minutes back, the dune fields are nature's first line of defense.
Exactly.
Now, this is something that I've said not today, but I've said it 25 years back, and we are repeating, the same things over and over again. Still, it's not going through. Nature's first line of defense. Imagine a dune and not to be there, the sea will reach right Kandoli village or may reach Sarauli or Margao.
Exactly.
So that is the reason that we have to maintain these features, aeolian features, and with vegetation.
हांवें वागातोर पळयलां, वागातोरचीं हॉटेलां तांचे दर्या सामको अर्दो येवपाक लागलो.
No, Sarnabati, Varka, it happened last year. So if that, what you call it, inherent property of the beach dune system is lost, but natural, we are weakening, and we are only, inviting the sea towards us instead of keeping it away. And one thing, Raju, permit me, and I want to, tell this to audience, that a sandy beach is the property of the ocean.
Exactly.
People don't like if I say that. I say the beach is the property of the ocean. It does not belong to us.
Wow, good point.
Yeah. The beach is a place where the ocean comes to rest. It's like a resting field or a playing field of the ocean.
This is a poem, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is at the dune that the sea stops. So if you go on meddling with the level of the beach, if the level of the beach goes down either due to our rampant sand mining or due to human actions on the beach, why will the sea not come inside?
Okay.
So we cannot say, blame climate change like some politician may come and say, oh, that's due to climate change. No.
Yes.
Don't simply blame climate change. First you blame the change in our mindsets.
Exactly.
Yeah? And then we'll see. You go on ruling out point by point what is responsible, why the sea has come inside. Yeah? And then we will see whether climate change is responsible.
But
No doubt.
you believe in climate change?
100%.
Yes.
Climate change is there, it is happening in front of your eyes. There's no doubt about that.
Exactly.
But to say that climate change is responsible for this, make a sweeping statement,
you are not ready.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't.
But in the coming years,
Yes.
after 20 years, it has to be.
Yeah.
It will go to a dangerous level.
Yes.
It's going to be a threat.
Already, the IPCC report of 2021,
Yeah.
the UN Secretary General has, what you call it, talked about a code red for planet Earth. Can you imagine? Code red for planet Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he says there that tipping point is crossed.
Exactly.
Now, when the UN Secretary General says, and we make a mockery out of it, our government has not considered this because it doesn't suit us.
Exactly.
Tourism may stop. And
Exactly.
see, as scientists, we have our limitations.
Certainly.
We cannot be policemen.
Exactly.
We can go up to a certain extent and make, a very decisive statement about what things should be. But unfortunately,
I was talking to Cloud Oloris.
Yes.
तो म्हणपाक हे जे पळय आतां पळय तुमी न्यूज बी जाल्या म्हणटात की आतां CRZ कांय नाका तुमी आतां फिशरमॅनाक बांदपाक इतले घरां आतां कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज हें फकत मिनिस्टर आनी गव्हर्मेंटाचे पयशे करपाची बांदगडी म्हणून न्ही
see,
it looks like
this
that is the prime property available.
Yeah.
Sell it.
See,
make money.
This money and all that,
As a scientist, you don't
as
talk
a
about
government of India scientist, there are certain statements that I cannot, talk directly.
But we also require.
Yes.
Antonio Mascarenhas, we also required Cloud Alvarez.
Yes, definitely.
Cloud is there,
Definitely.
fighter of our.
It is obvious, that the greed for money is increasing by the day.
Exactly.
Okay, and that is the cause for all this. And I also may give example. The story of hen that laid the golden eggs.
Yes.
Okay, we are killing the hen
Exactly.
instead of eating the eggs.
Saturday.
That's what's happening in Goa.
सामकें सो तूं म्हाका सांग आंतोनी बाबा ह्याच तरेन जर गेले आतां फिशरमॅनान घर बांदलीं आतां बिजनस एक्टिविटी ऑलरेडी शॅक्स आयल्या शॅक्सांनी सबंद इकोसिस्टम डिस्ट्रॉय करून उडयल्या कासव येताले
Yeah.
तेय कासव आतां धांवडावपाक लागला ते
Okay.
आमकां नाकात दोन कडेन येतात तेय बी थंय थ्रेट फाटल्या वर्सा आयलेच ना
Okay.
सो हें सगळें आमी जे पळय डेंजर करपाक लागल्यात आंतोनी बाबा
Yeah.
फुडल्या 25 वर्सान कितें जातलें
For that reason, we should take very bold decisions now.
Yes.
I think we did not talk today about the scientific validity of coastal setbacks.
Yes.
The 0-200
Yes.
is the setback.
Correct.
Now they want to bring it to 50
Yes.
based on what? Now they've come with a very vague, explanation that, certain panchayat areas where the density is something like more than 2,100 something will be there, you bring to 50. Okay. Now, in other rural areas, like for example, maybe in the south, some panchayats where there are few, hardly any habitants there it will remain 200. Now, what is this logic?
Yeah.
In fact, where the panchayat areas where there are too many people, the setback should have been increased. But they are reducing it. So this again has no scientific validity.
Exactly.
Okay. So the in future, from next monsoon, wait for the first showers. What is going to happen, is something that is not
imagine.
simple. It defies logic. Okay. Anything can happen. Today, that the fact that of course this is not today's discussion, just for the sake of example, the fact that a tropical humid forest is on fire right now, it's burning. It had never happened before. I never heard it. As goals, we have not heard. Yes. And Made is burning right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, in a place where humidity is 80%. Okay, and we are a tropical region. Now imagine that tomorrow everything can go off in flames.
So एका अर्दान आमी आमचे दोंगर उजो लागपाक सोडल्यात ते प्रायम प्रॉपर्टी जातली बिझनेस हाऊसेस तयार जातले, व्हडले व्हडले
Yeah.
5 स्टार हॉटेलां
Yeah,
येतली,
yeah, yeah.
ते जमनी दोंगर विकून उडयतले.
Yeah.
दुसरे आमचे बीच आमी सोडून दिल्यात,
Yes.
थंय कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी करत. शेक म्हणटा
Correct.
फकत एक रिजन,
Correct.
आतां ते व्हडले व्हडले हॉटेलां येतली आनी व्हडले व्हडले बिल्डिंग आनी 5 स्टार ऑलरेडी आयली.
Correct.
सो गोवा एज ए व्हेरी सेन्सिटीव एरिया. एका अर्दान आमचे सगळे हिल्स, सह्याद्री आसा, दुसऱ्या अर्दान आमच्यो सेन्सिटीव
Yeah.
अशे तरेचो दर्या आसा.
Yeah.
आमचें कितें जावपाचें दोतोर?
See, for that again, we must have very aggressive conservation efforts. Why we do not have conservation areas?
Yes.
See, the other day I was discussing with another, colleague of mine. He gave me the examples of what do you call it, Manhattan. Well, I've not been to Manhattan, but I've been to crowded areas in Europe.
Yes.
Okay. Now there are areas in Europe which are packed with buildings, but you have a wide beach at the same time.
Correct.
Like Bombay doesn't have a beach. Why? Whereas I've seen areas in Europe, in France, where there are buildings and there is a beach, because there is beach nourishment going on there.
Correct.
If there is erosion, immediately they bring sand and nourish the beach. It's very simple. You don't need crores, lakhs and crores. You only have to put sand at particular places. The way, by studying the movement of the littoral currents. It's so simple. So we can recreate a beach. Why we don't do it here? At least why don't we assign a certain zone? Let's say from this place 2 kilometers south, you cannot do anything. Let the sand dunes grow there, let the mangroves grow there.
Exactly.
Nothing else. You can go have a picnic, have a cycle, play volleyball and come back. We don't have such areas. So the entire coast is today a line of buildings, structures. And that is why we have today the largest number of violations. This is very bad.
Yeah.
And maybe in this respect, we have crossed the tipping point.
Exactly.
We have crossed the tipping point.
म्हाका एक सांगात, फाटल्या सप्तकान हांव तुजे कडेन उलयल्लो आनी तूं कोट केला म्हज्या एका आर्टिकलान ऑन द सेम क्रॉस द टिपिंग पॉयंट.
Yeah.
म्हाका एक सांगा, गोवा इज अ व्हेरी स्मॉल टायनी स्टेट.
Yeah.
आनी आमचे सगळे पॉलिसी मेकर दिल्लीक बसतात. तांकां एक इंडियाचो मॅप घेतलो जाल्यार वीच आर द सेन्सिटीव एरियाज, वॉट इज गोइंग टू हॅपन नेक्स्ट 20-25 years. हें सायंटिस्ट बसले न्ही वयर, गोंयांनी आहा न्ही, तांच्यांनी अशें तरेचे प्रपोजल घालूंक शकना की ना गोंयान भितर इतलें प्रेशर आमकां नाका, ट्युरिस्ट इतलो प्रेशर नाका, यू चेंज युअर पॉलिसीज, यू हॅव टू अबायड बाय द रुल्स, CRZ आनीक इल्लें खर कर. अशे तरेचे वाय देर इज नो सायंटिफीक प्रेशर, नॉट ओन्ली फ्रॉम गोवा. दिल्लीन बसले, सगळे कडेन बसले, दे नो वॉट इज हॅपनिंग इन गोवा. ते सगळे जाणात क्लायमेट चेंज म्हळ्यार कितें, ते जाणात नेचर प्रेशर म्हळ्यार कितें, एनवायरमेंटल लॉस म्हळ्यार कितें. अशे तरेचो एक प्रेशर ग्रूप सायंटिस्ट कित्याक जायना? वाय ओन्ली बिल्डर्स, वाय ओन्ली हॉटेलियर्स, वाय ओन्ली पॉलिटिशियन्स कंट्रोल द स्टेट?
See, this is a question, for scientists that many scientists will not like to answer. See, I tell my colleagues, the science that is needed is all done. We have done all the science that's needed. We don't need any more science. But we need to apply that science,
Exactly.
to the human cause or for societal benefit.
Exactly.
Now, that is not happening. Okay, and unfortunately, as I said some 5 minutes back, that scientists, have limitations. Okay, this is unfortunate. And then those who try to, insist, immediately you are given a sort of a memo.
Blacklisted.
Not blacklisted, I would say. You are
Okay.
given a memo under conduct rules, so and so you are not supposed to talk to Raju Nayak. Okay, something of that sort. Yeah.
I know some years back we had organized a workshop in
okay.
NIO,
Okay.
and some people were blacklisted.
Okay. That is why I tell, I'm not bothered about the conduct rules. I am tackling issues.
Yes.
If you don't like it, tell me why you don't like it. I will try my best to convince you. And I will convince you.
Yes.
Still, if you don't follow, God bless us.
Yeah.
What
म्हाका एक
more
सांग,
can we say?
NIO,
Yeah.
बरें पॉयंटेड क्वेश्चन. NIO नॅशनल इन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ ओशनोग्राफी गोंयान आसा.
Yeah.
ओशन रिसर्च सेंटर गोंयान
Yeah,
आहा.
yeah.
सो अशे परिस्थितीन वाय नो देर इज रिपोर्ट्स फ्रॉम दिस इन्स्टिट्यूशन अबाउट द कोस्ट लायन, डेंजरस थ्रेट टू द कोस्ट लायन, इकोसिस्टम्स आर we are destroying them. Why such kind of reports are not prepared?
There are reports. There are plenty of reports. I just said there is enough research done. For example, I was talking to one physician the other day who had come from the USA. Do you know that there is a paper from NIO scientists who have reported antibiotics in the Mandovi?
Yes.
Now, antibiotics in the Mandovi is something that I can't visualize. I'm not a chemist.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but how did antibiotics get in the waters of the Mandovi?
Sir.
Either too many antibiotics are being prescribed,
Yes.
or some factories or
Some must be throwing it in the river.
So the reason for that I really do not know. But this sort of a paper has already come. It is there in the public domain. So it was
Very,
for
very
the
dangerous.
government to take up this issue.
We have casinos there. They might be throwing something.
Exactly.
We have factories coming
Exactly.
all over. We have hotels.
Exactly. See, the Mandovi, the state of the Mandovi is not
Very
good.
bad.
There is no proper, to my knowledge, oxygen there.
Yes.
Because the waters may be turning anoxic. I don't know how much fish you can find there.
Yes.
Although you see people fishing.
Yes.
But things. Yeah.
आमचो लास्ट सामको थोडे सेकंद
Yeah.
म्हाका तुजो
Yeah.
लास्ट स्टेटमेंट जाय हो ही जी पळय न्यूज आयल्या की सबंद कोस्टलायन फिशरमॅना खातीर बिझनेस एक्टिविटी करपाक ओपन करतले आय वॉन्ट ए व्हेरी पॉइंटेड स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम यू.
See, as I said, the beach belongs to the ocean.
Yes.
Okay, and there is no compromise on the well-being and the welfare of the beach dune system.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have already said why it is. We have given the justification. There is enough research on it. The tsunami, we didn't talk about the tsunami.
Yes.
The tsunami showed actually where there are dunes, nothing happened.
Exactly.
But wherever there are no dunes, the waves overshot and
Yes.
demolished the villages.
Yes.
Now, so conservation, the coastal afforestation has to be done in a very aggressive manner. And the setbacks have to be followed.
Sir.
Okay, if you want to preserve the coast.
थँक्यू.
Yeah.
आम्ही एक महत्त्वाच्या विशयाचेर आज चर्चा केली आनी आंतोनियो मास्कारानी जे एक सायंटिस्ट आनी ते सारके खरें उलयतात सडेतोड उलयतात. महत्वाचें म्हळ्यार कितें ताणें सांगलें तशें फिशरमॅनाच्या नांवान तुमी ही सबंद बीच ओपन करनाकात विकासा खातीर. आमचे कडेन विकास चड जाला. बीच आयल्यात, बिचाचेर इतले मोठ्या प्रमाणाचे शेक आयल्यात, शेकांनी कॉन्क्रिटीकरण केलां. इतलेंच न्हय तर 5 स्टार हॉटेल आनी इतली मोठी हॉटेलां रेजिडेन्शियल कॉम्प्लेक्सीस उबे जाल्यात. म्हाका दिसता आमची सेन्सिटीव संवेदनशील जी पळय सबंद बीच लायन आसा ती पयलींच थ्रेटन जाल्या. CRZ रुल्साचे पूर्ण तांचेर हावळ हाडल्या आनी ही बीच आमी धोक्यान घाल्या आनी ती जेन्ना आमी धोक्यान घालतात तेन्ना पुराय गोंय धोक्यान येतात. ताणें म्हणलां हें उदक दर्याचें उदक मडगांव मेरेन येवं शकता आनी म्हाका दिसता हाजेर आतां विचार करपाची गरज आसा. आमी गोंयकारांनी हाजेर खूब विचार करपाची गरज आसा आनी ताजे संदर्भात एक प्रेशर ग्रूप तयार जावपाची गरज आसा. अशे तरेचे जे पळय नावाडकें जे पळय विकास पळय आहा ताका आडावपाची गरज आसा. पळयत रावात गोमंतक TV.